Hey everyone, this is Tommy from Studio Ultra Mega with another Operation Battle Ready tutorial. Today we're covering non-metal metallic gold. And here's our palette for NMM gold. It's Scale 75 Gobi Brown, Arabic Shadow, Sahara Yellow, Tenaire Yellow, and White Sands. And while I'm putting this base coat on here, I'm going to talk a little bit about these colors. First of all these are going to have equivalents in just about any paint line. But what's important here is that we've got a shade tone, a base tone, a highlight, and an extreme highlight. And I think those are what's key to having a good NMM. So I'm laying down this Gobi Brown as the shade, and you'll notice a lot of the times in a lot of these tutorials, I like to base with my shade and build everything up off of that. A lot of people start with their base and then push their shadows in. I like to start with the darkest tone and build everything up on top of it. That's just my style. So anyway, it's very greenish brown, very ochre. But I could have just as easily chosen a very warm brown to build up from, and it would have changed the whole flavor of the gold. It would have given it a much warmer tone. And that's the fun part about NMM, is changing any one of these colors out for something slightly off can change the whole vibe of the effect you get. But what's important here isn't the specific colors, it's the values. You could plug any vaguely yellowish color you wanted to into this, as long as it fits in to one of the values. If you're unfamiliar with the term, value just means the lightness or darkness of a color. Alright, we're going to go on cruise control here a little bit while we lay this Gobi Brown in on all the gold parts until we get to the next transition. Okay, those shadow tones are all in there, and now I'm laying on some Arabic Shadow as our base coat, and it's covering most of the stuff, but you see I'm leaving the lines, the cracks in the armor, the places where armor plates overlap. I'm leaving a bit of this cowl show through as the shade. Now we are thinning this with a little bit of matte medium, so it's a little translucent, so we're still getting the flavor of that Gobi Brown underneath to show through as we build this Arabic Shadow up as the base tone. So we're going to go ahead and pretty much cover most of what we've done so far. You'll notice I keep going over a lot of the same spots, and it looks like I'm transitioning to a new color, but I'm not. This is just that same color, that translucent color building up on top of itself. Now here, same thing with the matte medium. We have kicked it up to the Sahara Yellow now. We still have a nice translucent coat. You see how we're just building it on top of everything we've already done. And every time we kick up to a brighter color, we cover a little bit less ground on the model. We stick a little bit closer to the edges. You see how we're working our way in? We're leaving those darker spaces dark. Every time we get a little bit brighter, the area we cover gets a little bit tighter. Alright, we're kicking it up to a new color here. Not just building up the old one. Here we're introducing Tenaire yellow. It's a nice pale yellow. If you don't have a pale yellow, go ahead and mix a bone with your basic yellow, and then you'll have one. And again, you see as we go brighter, we start clinging tighter to those edges. And you see we keep building that same thin color up, and it makes it brighter and brighter with every pass. And now we're kicking it up to the extreme highlight with that white sands, which is a very, very pale bone, like a linen white. Really clinging to those edges now. You see also I start to favor like the middle of the arc of the collar. I'm not even-handedly applying the highlight to the whole collar. So this thing's about done here on the top. There, you see that effect? This gradual buildup of those highlights and where they go. To get that metallic look, I think what's most important, you're not being even with your highlights. You're favoring corners. You're favoring opposite corners. Okay, listen, there doesn't need to be a bunch of fancy rules for NMM to get a vibe of a metallic surface. It's just about extreme highlights and glints of light. Unless I'm going for some sort of weird special effect, I always try to respect a general overhead light source. So my broader highlights will all generally favor a high noon position. But really, where I stick a lot of these gleams and extreme highlights has more to do with focal points on the model than any sort of directional light source. If it's some point on the armor I think deserves your eye's attention, it's gonna get the extreme highlight. Okay, so here on this chest plate, we're following all the same steps, using all the same ideas we did on the collar. Alright, I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you just watch this go down. Alright, so we're rounding third and about to bring it on home on this chest plate. So if any of you take a crack at this, I'd love to see how it comes out for you. Our patrons can always post their work in our patron workshop on Facebook, where we'd love to go over it all with you and get under the hood and help you out with your projects. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our patrons over on Patreon, supporting us at Operation Battle Ready. You guys are the reason we do this, man. It sure ain't because we like editing videos. That part sucks. But sharing the hobby love with you guys is what it's all about. And as always, if this didn't irritate the crap out of you, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll keep throwing more of these at you.